Welcome to Whiteboard Time Machine, where history comes alive. Subscribe and step into the past. What if history hid inventions, centuries ahead of their time? From ancient tech to lost genius. Here are 3 inventions the world forgot. Let's rewind time. In the year 1901, sponge divers off the coast of a small Greek island stumbled upon a shipwreck. Amid bronze statues and ancient pottery, they pulled up a corroded lump of metal. It didn't look like much, but hidden inside was a mechanical marvel, 2000 years old, now known as the Antikythera Mechanism. A device so advanced, it would challenge everything we thought we knew about the ancient world. The Antikythera Mechanism is often called the world's first analog computer. It's a complex system of over 30 bronze gears, precisely cut and calibrated, all packed into a wooden box the size of a shoebox. This ancient Greek device wasn't just decorative, it was functional. It was designed to track the movements of the sun and moon, and possibly the planets. It could predict solar and lunar eclipses, display the phases of the moon, and follow the Metonic cycle, a 19-year period where the sun and moon align in the calendar. The user would turn a small hand crank, and the gears inside would rotate in harmony, simulating the motions of the heavens. One dial tracked the sun's position through the zodiac. Another followed the moon, correcting for its slightly irregular orbit. A third dial predicted eclipses using a 223-month cycle known as the Saros cycle. All of this, over 1,000 years before the invention of the mechanical clock. No one knows for sure who built it, but clues point to the island of Rhodes, a center of astronomy and engineering in the ancient world. Some believe it was inspired by or even built by followers of Hipparchus, one of the greatest astronomers of ancient Greece. Others link it to the legendary inventor Archimedes. Regardless of its creator, it shows a level of scientific understanding far beyond what historians expected from that time. For decades, the mechanism sat in a museum, misunderstood. Then, in the early 2000s, scientists used advanced imaging techniques, X-ray scans, 3D models, and computer simulations to peer inside. They found inscriptions, settings, instructions. Piece by piece, the machine revealed its secrets. It wasn't just a clock. It was a cosmic calculator, built by minds who saw the universe in gears and cycles. And perhaps most astonishing, no other device like it was found for more than 1,000 years. The Antikythera Mechanism is a glimpse into a forgotten era of brilliance. A machine from the ancient world, lost to time, yet far ahead of its own. It reminds us that the quest to understand the cosmos has always been with us, etched in metal, powered by curiosity. The second forgotten invention is the fire that burned on water. A weapon so feared, it turned the tide of battles. And yet, its secret was lost forever. This is the story of Greek fire, the ancient world's deadliest and most mysterious weapon. It was developed by the Byzantine Empire in the 7th century AD. Greek fire was unlike anything the world had ever seen. It was a liquid flame, projected through pressurized nozzles, like an ancient flamethrower. And here's what made it truly terrifying: it couldn't be extinguished with water. In fact, water sometimes made it burn even hotter. Greek fire was mainly used in naval warfare. Imagine wooden ships set ablaze in seconds, with no hope of putting out the flames. It wasn't just a weapon, it was a psychological shockwave. But what was it made of? That's the mystery. The formula for Greek fire was a closely guarded state secret. Only a few trusted engineers in the Byzantine Empire knew how to create it, and they took that knowledge to the grave. Historians believe it might have included ingredients like crude oil, pine resin, sulfur, quicklime, and naphtha. Some even suggest it reacted violently with water, which explains why it kept burning on the sea. Whatever the recipe was, no one has ever been able to recreate it with certainty. Greek fire struck fear into the hearts of Byzantium's enemies. Arab chroniclers described it as a fire that clings to the flesh and devours it. Over time, the Byzantine Empire declined, and the knowledge of Greek fire faded into history. The last known use was sometime in the 12th century. After that, it disappeared. Today, scientists and historians still debate what it really was. Was it an early form of napalm? A chemical weapon ahead of its time? We may never know. But what's certain is this: Greek fire gave the Byzantines a super weapon in an age of swords and shields. A weapon that changed history, and then became legend. The third forgotten invention is the Damascus Steel, the blade that never dulled. It could slice through iron, never lose its edge, and shimmered with a wave-like pattern that looked forged by the gods. This is the legend of Damascus Steel, the mysterious metal behind the sharpest swords of the ancient world. Damascus steel was used to forge blades so strong, they could cut through other swords, and stay razor-sharp after battle. It wasn't just their strength, these blades were beautiful. Their signature wavy, flowing patterns weren't painted on, they were part of the metal itself. These swords became legendary during the Middle Ages, especially among warriors in the Islamic world and crusaders who encountered them. A Damascus blade was a symbol of power, craftsmanship, and mystery. So, how were they made? The secret lies in a special kind of steel called woots, which came from India and Sri Lanka. This high-carbon steel was melted with natural impurities, cooled slowly, and then forged by skilled blacksmiths, mostly in the Middle East. The result was a metal that had layers of iron and carbon, creating both the blade's beauty and its incredible strength. But somewhere around the 18th century, the knowledge of how to make real Damascus steel vanished. The original techniques were never written down, and the special ores used ran out. Today, true Damascus steel is considered a lost technology. Over time, the stories got wilder. People said Damascus blades could slice through rifle barrels, or split a falling silk scarf. Most of those are myths, but they show how much respect these weapons earned. Modern researchers have used microscopes to study surviving blades, and found nanowires and carbon nanotubes embedded in the metal. Somehow, ancient blacksmiths created microscopic structures that made their blades tougher, centuries before modern science even understood atoms. Today, when you hear Damascus steel, it often refers to pattern-welded steel, modern blades that mimic the look of the originals. They're beautiful, strong, and functional, but they're not the same as the ancient Damascus. True Damascus steel, made from woots and forged with lost techniques, remains a mystery. But modern bladesmiths are getting closer and closer to recreating the real thing. Maybe one day, the secret will rise from the fire again. Damascus steel isn't just a blade, it's a symbol of forgotten knowledge, ancient skill, and timeless beauty. Thanks for watching. If you love exploring forgotten chapters of history and stories they never taught in school, then this channel is for you. Hit that subscribe button and join us every week as we uncover the past, one story at a time.